Rabbi Manis Friedman, hello. Thank God it's Tuesday. So happy to have you with us. And we're so close to a beautiful holiday season. Hanukkah is this Thursday, starts this Thursday. And besides the fact that we need to be happy every single day, we especially have to be happy during Hanukkah, the holiday of lights. And yet we have very many obstacles this year. And we are hoping that maybe you can guide us on how we can attain the level of happiness that we should attain during this holiday seasons with everything that is happening in the world that's putting a damper on things.
Oh yeah, a big damper. It's amazing that we're as optimistic as we are. There's something incredible about the Jewish spirit. Did we talk last week about the difference between Asov and Ishmael?
No.
Okay. Let's get into this. This is very helpful.
Okay.
There's a difference between our two major enemies forever. Ishmael, who was at war with Yitzchak, and Asov, who was at war with Yakov. Nothing has changed. It's the same thing today. We have always had a problem with Asov, and we always had a problem with Ishmael. But they're very different problems. To sum it all up, it's a very big subject, but to sum it up, it sounds like this. What does the Torah say about Asov? He was Yaakov's twin brother. They were both the children of Yitzchak and Rivka. But what does it say about Asov? It says that Asov was a hunter and that he lived by the sword. Hasn't changed. The descendants of Asov until this very day live by the sword, and they're hunters. They're warriors. These are not biological descendants, because the world is so intermarried. There are no direct descendants of Asov. But ideological. Those who have the spirit of Asov, they are hunters, and they live by the sword. Then there's Ishmael, the descendants of Ishmael. Ishmael was Yitzchak's brother, half-brother. They were both children of Abraham. But one was from Abraham and Sarah, and the other one was from Abraham and Hagar. What does the Torah say about Ishmael? It says about Ishmael that he will not inherit together with Yitzchak. Sarah told Avraham, send them away, because he will not inherit together with my son Yitzchak. That's what we know about Ishmael. What is the difference between a hunter and an inheritor? We all agree, Jews, Christians, Muslims, we all agree. The land of Israel was given to Avraham as an inheritance for all generations to come. Now the question is, who inherits? Asov, we know, was technically born before Yaakov. They were twins, but Asov came out first. Yaakov tricked him into selling the rights of the firstborn. Asov was angry about that, but he did sell it. Why did he sell it? Says clearly in the Torah. Asov said, what do I need the firstborn privileges for? I don't need it. Why doesn't he need it? Because he's a hunter. A hunter takes what he wants. Anything he wants. And if he's a good hunter, then he can take whatever he wants from whoever he wants. It's just a question of how well do you use your sword. So he lives by the sword, and when he wants something, he conquers it, he captures it, he takes it by force. So what does he need to inherit for? So it's almost like Asov said to Yakov, go ahead, you inherit the land. I don't care. I'll take it from you. I'm a hunter. Ishmael never did that. Ishmael didn't claim to be a hunter or live by the sword. He just claimed to be Abraham's son, and he inherits. An inheritance comes automatic. You don't have to do anything to inherit. You don't have to sign anything. You don't have to pay. You don't even have to be an adult. A newborn baby inherits everything his father has. It's automatic. It's non-negotiable. So, for example, if I inherit something from my father, I can't give it away because my children inherit it too. So if I want to give it away, I have to have their permission because they are the next generation of heirs of inheriting. Okay, so the argument between Ishmael and Yitzchak is who is the inheritor. It is so enlightening. It explains everything. Number one, how come we've made no progress whatsoever? In 70 years, we have made no progress. Nothing. How come? Everybody wants peace, supposedly. People are very smart. And everything has been tried. Well, not everything. The same thing has been tried over and over and over. Okay, now we will understand. If Israel says to the descendants of Ishmael, not biological descendants, ideological descendants, if Israel says to them, we will give you half the territory, we will create a two-state solution. Doesn't that solve the problem? No, it doesn't. For two reasons. First of all, if we are the inheritors, if we are the heir, what do you mean half? It all belongs to us. We inherit whatever belonged to Avraham. And number two, it's such an insult. You're going to give us our own state? You're going to give us what is ours? Chutzpah. So no deal. Of course no deal. Because Ishmael doesn't want the land. He wants to be the inheritor. And even if they could take the land from us by war and by violence, not good enough. Why do I have to capture what is mine? It also explains why they need to destroy everybody from river to sea. And no, a Jewish baby is not a civilian. Why? The Jewish baby is the threat. As long as there's a Jewish baby, they inherit. It's interesting that Christianity, which is part of Asov, that is the architect and the inventors of anti-Semitism for 2,000 years, never wanted to annihilate Jews. Interesting thing about a hunter. A man goes hunting for deer. When he captures the deer, does he erase all memory? Does he wipe out every piece of evidence? No, on the contrary, he brings it home. And he mounts the head of the deer on his wall over his fireplace for everyone to see. That's what a hunter does. He is proud of who he hunted and how victorious he was. If he hunts a bear, he brings it home and makes a rug so that he can show all his guests and all his visitors, look at the size of that bear, and I beat him up. What did the Romans do when they destroyed the Beis Hamikdash, the temple in Jerusalem? They were the only ones who carried off whatever they could. They took with them souvenirs. And they even created that the Arch of Titus, in which they depict carrying off the menorah and the beating of the people. They don't want to erase what they did. They want to memorialize it. But if your problem is inheritance, even if you kill your brother who is your competition, even if you kill all of them and leave one baby alive, you lose, because that baby inherits everything. So Asov, who was our enemy for 2,000 years, doesn't want us to disappear. He either wants us to convert, and then he'll show us off like a deer trophy or a bear rug. He'll say, you see this? All these Jews, we made Christians out of them. Or he will continue to hate and despise and make pogroms, but not wipe them out, because then there'll be nothing to show off. So Asav's descendants never got into exterminating. It works against their interest. We are accustomed to fighting with Asov for 2,000 years. Most of the Jews who went to Israel in 48 came from Europe. And they think they're still fighting Asov. That's why nothing is working. Yishmael is not Asov. Yishmael does not want to win a military battle with you, and does not want you to give them land. The existence of a Jew threatens their belief and their assumptions and their aspirations. We will inherit the land because we are the children of Abraham. And that's why the existence of a Jew is a problem for them. Not just in Israel, anywhere. Because wherever a Jew may live, even if he lives in Australia, he inherits the land. Now everything makes sense. I mean, it's still a big problem, but at least it makes sense.
Rabbi Friedman, have to ask, but what about World War II and Hitler? Who was that?
Hitler was a Yishmaelite in his policy, in his belief. He felt that he inherits the world. not just Israel. Not because he's a descendant of Avraham, but because he's God and the whole world is his. Beating up Jews is not enough. Because as long as Jews exist, he is not God. So we have to understand, why is it that some anti-Semites just want to do something to the Jews, other anti-Semites just want Jews to disappear? Why? What is the difference between them? When is the existence of the Jewish people a threat to someone? If we left Israel and gave them the entire land, would they be content? No. Because wherever Jews live, even if it was in Bijan, you're a threat to them. Because you're an inheritor. Can't do that. Can't let that be. It now explains very clearly why we have never made any progress towards a settlement, because we're talking the wrong language. Two-state solution? You're not talking to Russians now. You're not talking to Asov. They don't want the land, they want the firstborn rights. They want to be recognized as the only heirs to Avraham. In other words, they're completely religious. Their claim is religious, based on the tradition of Ishmael. That's why when you say to them, "What is your problem? We are a democracy." Don't you see why it doesn't have any effect? It doesn't matter that you're a democracy or you're not a democracy. You inherit and you gotta go. It doesn't make any sense to say to Yishmael, we have a right to defend ourselves. You're not addressing the issue. You're not even getting close. So they don't hear you. But America hears you, and America is very proud of you. Yeah, because they're Asov. To Asov, it makes perfect sense. See, between Yakov and Asov, they made a deal. Asov said, the physical world, the material world, belongs to me. Heaven belongs to you. So you go be spiritual and leave the earth to me, because it's all mine. All of a sudden, Asov discovers that Yaakov is rich. Asov says, oh no, that's not the deal. You don't get to have material wealth. That's my department. You sit and study, meditate and pray. That's your part of life. But you're rich? You have a land? No. But then they met. In last week's Parsha, they met. And Asov took a look at what Yaakov has and says, you know what? I have so much. Keep whatever you have. You're not threatening me. So they made peace and they went their separate ways. There are moments when Asov is threatened by Yaakov. Why are you successful in the material world? You should be just philosophers, hungry, poor, living in ghettos, and thinking very high thoughts. That's what a Jew should be doing. But you own a house? You run a business? No, 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 no. That's our territory. And so they'll go to war. And what will they do? They will confiscate everything you have. They're not out to kill you. Of course, if you don't let them take what you have, they'll kill you just, to make things more convenient. But Russia was never out to destroy the Jews. On the contrary, they wouldn't let them leave. So, when Israel says to the world, we are a democracy, America is very proud. When Israel says we have a right to defend ourselves, America says, sure, absolutely. Israel doesn't threaten America. Like Asov, America says to Israel, whatever you have, keep it. You're not threatening us. We have plenty, and we will have more. Your possessions don't threaten, and they're not that impressive that I should be desperate to have it. Keep it. But Ishmael is not at all impressed with your democracy and with your right to defend yourself and with all the other arguments that they don't even hear. You're not even speaking their language. On the contrary. See, here's a huge debate. Is this land forever and ever yours by inheritance, or is it ours? We go to war. You beat us up, like in 67, and then you offer to return some territory to us. What does that tell the Arabs? You don't really think it's yours, do you? You're not treating it like an inheritance. And that's why they say, you're not even Jewish. You come here and you don't claim it as an inheritance? Then you're not Jewish. You're just a bunch of Europeans who, like Asov, like to capture lands. Turns out that Asov and Ishmael don't get along either. Surprise, surprise. Nobody gets along. So if the people who came to Israel in 1948 are really Europeans, they are Asov with his sword. The hunter is coming to take our land. If we are going to respond and finally resolve this issue, we can't say we're a democracy. We can't say we have a right to defend ourselves. We can't even say, behave yourself, we have nuclear weapons. That's completely besides the point. Is this land yours? Are you the Jews who inherit this land, or are you not? That's the only thing the Muslim mind hears. So what is the solution? The solution is talk to the issue. You've never even talked to the issue. Say to the world, we are the biological inheritors. This land is ours because we are the children of Yakov. Biologically. So, case closed.
Rabbi Friedman,
if we act that way.
Didn't we say it until now? Didn't we ever say it before?
Not once. Not once. Listen to all the speeches in the UN. Not even a hint. Again, the excuse is, the justification is, we think we're talking to Asov. And in the UN, you are talking to Asov. but you're not dealing with the problem of Ishmael. So what should we say to Ishmael? Two things. Number one, you're right. Israel cannot be captured. It can't be given away. It can't be bought. It can only be inherited. But we are the inheritors. You are not. Why? Because you stopped being Jewish. You don't act like Semites. You act like Europeans. You think like Europeans. You behave like Europeans. You even your religion is European. Our answer to them has to be, number one, we are the Jews. Even if we don't act like it, an inheritance doesn't depend on how you act. Even the worst child inherits everything that belongs to his father. So don't change the subject. It is an inheritance, you're right. And we inherit it all. And because we inherit it, we can't give you anything. And we won't insult you by offering it. No one alive today can give away an inheritance which belongs to his descendants. So no, we can't give you an inch. It's an inheritance, not a gift. And no, you can't buy it, and no, you can't conquer it. No. And you are not the inheritor. Why? Because the Torah says explicitly, the son of the maid will not inherit together with my son, Yitzchak. Case closed. Now the second problem is, Jews cannot believe, cannot imagine that by quoting the Torah, they will win an argument. Because we're so convinced, because of 2,000 years of living with Asov, that no matter what you say about your religion, they're going to quote their religion, and you're not going to win a single argument. You say, thou shalt not murder in the Old Testament, and they say, oh, but we have a New Testament, and you are bad, you're going to hell. Yeah, but the Torah says, why do you think they're going to be impressed by what you think the Torah says? So we're used to that. We're used to not using the Torah as our argument. Now we're dealing with Ishmael, and we think the same thing. Of course, we know that the land belongs to us. We know that we are the chosen people. We know that we inherit the land. But what, you're going to tell them and they're going to listen? They're not going to listen. So why even make the argument? That's the second biggest mistake. If Jews spoke with the authority of Moses, who the Muslims worship, this argument would have been over a long time ago. If you speak like the chosen people, if you act like the descendants of Abraham, then they have no argument at all. Because we're the biological inheritors. There's nobody else. There's no contest. There's no court case. There's nothing to argue about. If and when we behave like the chosen people and the children of Avraham, the Palestinians will take down the mosque, which doesn't belong there in the first place. But the fact that we allow it makes them suspicious. Maybe we are the inheritors. Otherwise, if I was the Jewish people and I was the inheritor, would I allow someone else to put a building where I... Come on. So, it's not too late. It's never too late. Someone has to speak for Israel and get up in the United Nations and say, this is not a land to be conquered or bargained over or divided or negotiated. This is an inheritance. No one else inherits except the Jewish people, because we are the only existing descendants of Avraham, Yitzchak, and Yaakov. God promised the land to Avraham. He promised it again to Yitzchak. Then he promised it again to Yaakov. And then he promised it a few times to Moshe. And then he promised it to Yeshua. Case closed. And because Muslims are believers, once they hear this, they will take down the mosque and help us build the third temple. We've never tried it. Even with Asov, when Golda Meir was prime minister, she was coming to the United States to meet with President Nixon. And there was a press conference before she arrived. And the spokesman, State Department, said, I just hope that she doesn't come here with a Bible under her arm and say, the land is ours, it's written in the Bible. And they all laughed. It was a joke. But the editor of the Yiddish paper was there in the press, among the press people, and he said, "What would it bother you if she came with a Bible under her arm and said it belongs to us?" And he became really serious. I remember this. He became serious and he said, officially, America, United States, is not a Christian country. But if you quote the Bible, what are we supposed to say? Can't go against the Bible. We underestimate not only our validity, but also the validity of the Torah. When you speak with the authority of the Torah, people listen. Not only listen, they obey. Somebody just pointed out, who was it? Somebody popular on television. He said, isn't it interesting? Everyone over 25 supports Israel. Everyone under 25 supports Hamas.
So it's an age thing.
It's college. Colleges have become so toxic, such poison. So maybe the numbers are off a little. Maybe everybody under 30 and everybody over 30. But basically, adults all over the world support Israel. College students, even if they've already graduated, poisoned. So it's not like the world agrees with Hamas. Not by a far stretch. And the same is true with the Bible. Everyone over 30 takes the Bible seriously. How seriously? Whatever, right? Everybody under 30, there's no Bible. There's nothing. There's no 10 Commandments. There's nothing. So it's really clear. It's so clear. Why have we made no progress? We're not dealing with the issue. What is the issue? Not who conquered and who fired first, or who has bigger tanks, or who. That is not the issue. The issue is purely biblical. Who inherits the land of Avraham? And there's no question that it belonged to him, because God gave it to him. The only question is, which of the descendants are the heirs? And that's why claiming to be a democracy is like spitting in the wind. Saying that you have a right to defend yourself is like being a baby. Offering to give away territory, give back territory, share territory, you're just encouraging the enemy. Because you're acting like it's not really yours and you're feeling guilty. So what is the solution? So you mentioned Hanukkah. The solution is more menorahs, bigger menorahs, all over Israel, all over the Middle East, including the one they just put up in Gaza. That's the solution. The solution is to say, you know you attacked us on Yom Kippur 50 years ago. So you know we are the people of Yom Kippur. Now you attack us on Sukkot, on Shmini Atzeret. You know we are the people of Shmini Atzeret. We are the same people. We haven't changed. Our ancestors in Israel lit menorahs, we light menorahs. Our ancestors kept Shabbat, we keep Shabbat. They fasted on Yom Kippur, we fast on Yom Kippur. We are the same people. Obviously, we are the heirs. Whether we're a democracy or not, whether we're religious or not. So you can make fun of us that we're not good Jews, but we are the Jews, so step aside.
Rabbi Friedman, thank you for a very, very clear message. On one hand, I gotta say, it seems far-fetched that we can make this kind of a statement and be heard, and the statement will be accepted by everybody. So it does seem a little bit far away at this point still, but Hanukkah is near, and that is in our hands. We can light a lot of menorahs. So
put up a bigger mezuzah. Don't take down the mezuzah. Act more Jewish, not less Jewish. It's time to really come into ourselves. The world says we are the chosen people. Not only the Bible, the world. Now, people can hate us for being the chosen, or they can love us and adore us for being the chosen, but they all know that we are chosen. So why not just be chosen? Why argue? Everybody says you're chosen. I guess they're right. So act like the chosen people. I think I did mention the story about the professor on the campus who stood up and argued with the pro-Hamas people, and the student gave him a bouquet of flowers because it was so nice, so reassuring when the chosen people act chosen. And this Jewish professor said, I don't believe in the chosen people. And the student said, whether you believe it or not, we know you're chosen. Can't disagree with the whole world, can you?
absolutely not, Rabbi Friedman. For sure not. Thank you so, so much. This was a very new message that we heard from you today. Very deep, very a lot to think about, a lot to take away, and of course, most importantly, is Hanukkah is around the corner, and this is definitely a big celebration in Jewish life. And there is a lot to celebrate when it comes to the holiday of Hanukkah. So may everybody just bring as much light into the world and be lit up with the right messages that you bring to the world daily. And we thank you for it. Thank you so, so much for setting us straight yet again.
Thursday night, sunset. Find a menorah, get a menorah, make a menorah, light a menorah. Whatever it takes. Join Chabad in their menorah, public lighting. But be part of the celebration. No. That's the solution, not the problem.
Great solution, and it's being handed to us this Thursday. So thank you so, so much, Rabbi Friedman. Thank you for your wisdom, for your time, and for the inspiration and positivity that you provide for us and for the whole world every day. Thank you, and happy Hanukkah.